Welcome everyone to OnPodcast, the On Microsoft podcast, where we talk about Microsoft stuff on a podcast. I am your host, Kareem Anderson, and I'm your only host for today. As we mentioned last week, our buddy Arif has moved on to a different publication where he will be covering all kinds of new news and reviews and things and stuff of that nature. I don't know if he'll have a podcast himself, but for the time being, it'll just be me giving you the news for Microsoft for the week. So bear with me. I will try and get my sea legs as quickly as possible to make sure that this is still entertaining, educational, informative, and above all else about Microsoft. I'm going to change up the format just a tad. I hope you guys find that okay. Instead of doing the fast recap and just picking about two or three topics, big topics for the week, and he and I, Arif and I, kind of banter back and forth. I'm just going to give you straightforward news in a solo approach where I will go through the biggest news of the day for the week that is August 19th. So, with that being said, let's start off. We have information about how bad Microsoft did during the Xbox One console generation. News on Monday broke, or headlines at least erupted, and we were some of the publications that had it, about Microsoft selling roughly 58.5 million Xbox devices. This news came about because Microsoft is currently in Brazil speaking with the CAD, which is, I believe, their authority on anti-competitive natures and mergers and things of that nature, as they're trying to push through the deal for the Activision Blizzard acquisition. With any kind of things like that, going through regulatory bodies, it's an investigative process. They need to know what the business practices are, how deals are done, all these other things. And amongst the deluge of paperwork and information that came through was the note about how Microsoft's Xbox business did last console generation. And this is also Microsoft handing this information. So, this is them admitting that Sony outsold them by almost two times as much. The last time we got numbers from Sony towards the end of the console generation, they had mentioned that they sold 117.2 million devices, and that's how we, did the quick math to get to 58.5 for Microsoft. Which again, this is in a vacuum with a fanboy fight club. It looks bad. If you take it out of the vacuum and expose it to the world, it looks almost worse because you have Nintendo, which came in, I want to say about a year and a half later than uh, both the Xbox and the PlayStation, and it's currently tracking at 111.8 million devices. So it not only surpassed the Xbox, and it did so in less time, it's starting to get up there alongside the PlayStation 4's ultimate record. Now, again, it's crossing over roughly two console generations because Nintendo's still selling the Switch as a new sort of device. I mean, they've upgraded to the OLED screen and things like that. But as far as consoles are concerned, it is roughly last generation's console. Either way, that's all to say that Microsoft is currently trying to climb that uphill battle or the hole that the Xbox One dug in last console generation, this generation. I think they're doing a decent job as far as getting goodwill back from the players. They're making some very educated moves, moving from moving to xCloud and kind of making sure the common denominator is the games and not the console. Sony, I think, believes is following the same suit. They will be having their own PC launcher to kind of, move away from the console slowly but surely. They also have their own version of Xbox Game Pass, a rebranding of their PlayStation service, which I believe they came out with first anyway. But they will also be moving to an Xbox Game Pass sort of situation. And again, we will be moving a lot of games from needing a console to just having them everywhere, kind of like streaming services. Also on Monday, Microsoft talked about the release preview for Insider Channels, which gets the updated version of 19044.1947. With this release, again, this is a Windows 10 release for 21H2, and it's a non-security update, so it qualifies for improvements and a couple changes. Nothing big, but it is a Monday release. So what people got were they got IT admins. They gave IT admins the ability to remotely add languages and language-related features. Additionally, they can now manage language scenarios across several endpoint managers. The other thing that they got was uh, they Microsoft enhanced Microsoft Defender for Endpoint's ability to identify and intercept ransomware and advanced attacks. So, again, if you're on Windows 10 and you're still looking to get um, updates and you're looking to test them out before you deploy them to your fleet of devices in the office, you would have gotten this on Monday. If not, you can run out and probably get it now and try it out before you have everyone still, fully in the office. I know we're all kind of slowly working our way back into the office. Right now would be a good time to make sure you get everyone who's still on Windows 10 secure. On Tuesday, this is where news really starts to kind of heat up again. We started slow on Monday. People are groggy, still, getting over their Sunday hangover. Tuesday is when we get the big news, and the big news of the week comes from our friend over at Windows Central, Zach Bowden, who has heard that Windows 11 22H2 should be coming as soon or as late, I guess, as September 20th. The new rumor for Windows Central, Zach Bode suggests the first feature update for Windows 11 could come by September 20th. Now, this is a bit confusing, so we'll slowly walk through this. For those of us who are insiders, we already have the big updates. And we may have forgotten, or we may have, put on the back burner the fact that most people, average people, haven't had a Windows 11 update since last November, I believe. So, for the things that we've taken for granted, they will now be shipping out to those individuals. And it seems like, as Microsoft had mentioned, they are moving to once a year. So this rollout will probably be the biggest thing that happens for the rest of the year. I don't believe we'll be getting anything in October or November as far as Windows updates are concerned. So this will be the update that brings it keeps catches people up with what we've had as insiders on things such as the new Start menu, which has its folder. And I believe they've started adding the ability to name folders as well. So folders in the Start menu, which is something people haven't had for about a year. The new gestures for bar snap layouts, those will also be added. Live captions, which is pretty big for people who require accessibility features. The drop and drag to the taskbar, which took a long time for even us to get, I believe, almost 6 months or so. New voice access tools, and so many other things that I'm have it listed, but things that come with like the volume rocker, the volume settings, stuff in the action menu. I don't know if they'll be getting the updated widgets, so to speak. And again, the widgets have evolved about 3 or 4 times since we've been insiders. They've gone from being disabled to re-enabled to redesigned to added new features to notifications even being tested now. So I don't believe any of that's going to be happening, but they will at least get an updated version of the widgets on the side. So again, I don't think they're getting the Game Pass notifications. They're probably not getting the resizable widgets, but they will be getting some updates to that. We go on our website about all the individual updates, so please visit our post for that. The other thing that happened on Tuesday was that Microsoft cautioned customers about phishing attacks by Russian hackers. We're still dealing with hackers across the world. We're not just signaling, Russian authority, Russian state-sanctioned hackers. But this is what Microsoft is describing. Microsoft was able to identify the challenges posed by Cyborgium. I probably said that entirely wrong, and I apologize for anybody who's probably stuffing their ears with cotton right now not to hear me. But it's spelled Seaborguim. And their infiltration, especially in OneDrive, has been allowing people, or at least their infiltration into OneDrive has signaled Microsoft, and the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center has been able to kind of identify them and put a stop in place. The Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center has partnered with abuse teams in Microsoft to disable accounts used by the actors for reconnaissance, phishing, and email collection. Microsoft Defender's Smart Screen has also implemented detections against the phishing domains represented in Cyborgium's activities. Again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. And on our, I'll probably have across the screen right now, just kind of an example of the email to be on the lookout for. Because again, we would like everyone to be aware about this and be safe. For those of you who are just listening, I kind of can describe it to you. It says, "Dear colleagues, In the context of growing tensions in the international community and increasing the number of activity of hacker groups operating in the information field, we are recording attempts by unidentified persons to attack an information infrastructure of our institutes. First of all, we cooperate with information security experts to increase the level of security of our resources. At the same time, do not forget about the personal training of each employee. This is and the headline reads increased cybersecurity. So be on the lookout for anything that says that. Don't open it. Don't open the attachments. Delete it as soon as possible. If you are the studious type, you can also report it as spam as well. So keep an eye out for that. The other thing that happened on Tuesday was that Microsoft is now previewing video clips for Microsoft Teams. This is something that was hinted at about 2 months ago. Now that Inspire is over with and they've kind of announced it there and kind of run some tests through, they've run some demos on it. They are now ready to let people start testing it. Again, like I said, during Microsoft Inspire, Microsoft announced that they will be introducing a video clip feature to Teams designed to help users record, send, and view short videos. It's a nifty feature. I think Eric and I kind of compared it to, I think like Instagram stories or something like that, where again, I had the question of whether or not this is a utility that people could actually use, or if this was just kind of a Me Too feature. I think we ended up coming up with, or at least I did, walk myself through the consensus of this would be useful for people who need to send messages that need to identify visual products, so to speak. So if you need visual confirmation and something that would take a lot less time than to take a picture, attach it to an email, make sure that the size is the size that you needed, and then send the email over and wait for a response. You could, hold it up to a camera, say, hey, here's a quick 15 to 20-second video. Do you have this product on the shelves? Can you identify it? Are we out? Do I need to reorder more of these things? Those kind of things are, I believe, where that makes more sense. I mean, you could be social, but at that point, I thought, wouldn't texting be easier if you're already on Teams and then you can see that the person's, available, that you can start texting to them. But again, the video messaging is a feature that we'll all need to see what the utilities are for that. I can only imagine again if you're out in the field, maybe you're doing site work, or if you are in engineering and you need AR to help out with some certain things, you can do a quick video to kind of get again confirmation from the office, from the field, from the head field office, things like that. So that was all previewed on Tuesday. There wasn't much more else to that. Then Wednesday, we get a fully designed WhatsApp, which is now available in the Microsoft Store. Now, I haven't been able to test this personally, but this comes from a post over at Thurrott.com. He does have screenshots of this new version. He says fully redesigned. I don't know if that's just because the code is better and it can be applied. Maybe this is something um, we'll need to test in further. But visually speaking, it was subtle as far as the visual redesign is concerned. But hey, it is a dedicated WhatsApp app for Windows 11, Windows 10, I believe. For those of you who use it a lot, I'm actually starting to use it a lot more in my own personal life. I used to kind of scratch my head and say, WhatsApp is for when you go international, things like that. But we're finding it in my football fantasy group, fantasy football group. We're using it constantly. This has become our new messaging app. We jumped from, I believe, Facebook Messenger to this, and it's been awesome. So, when I get information about our Niner quarterback or the controversy for our Niner quarterbacks pop up, I get notifications right there on the desktop and keep working. I don't need to grab my phone. I don't need to look like I'm not working. It's pretty subtle. So, again, for those of you who are looking forward to WhatsApp and the continued development for it on Windows, there is a redesign app. So, go check out the store for it. If you don't see it there, maybe it's rolling out. And again, I don't know if there's going to be an international rollout for it as of just yet, but we will try to update you with more information when we find out. Also, news on Wednesday, we got Xbox and the Special Olympics are going to partner again for the game or for gaming for Inclusion 2022. Uh, so, if you are a fan of the Special Olympics, you're a fan of Xbox, or you're a person who has who are differently abled or anything like that, there's some good news and some fun, entertaining information coming out about that. Following its debut last year, the Gaming for Inclusion esports event will make its return in 2022. Contestants will be competing for a chance to play alongside Special Olympics celebrity supporters, including Jamal Charles of the NFL, TikToker Vault Boy, and various stars of the WWE wrestling. The Celebrity Showcase will stream on September 17th, so keep your calendar marked for that. Also, this year's Gaming for Inclusion will give three Special Olympic athletes a chance to shine as shoutcasters, which is basically a host at the event. These are Jose Moreno from Special Olympics Illinois, Amber Gertz from Special Olympics Utah, and Ben Gregory from Special Olympics Indiana. These individuals will now be your host for the event. I don't know if they're going to kind of do it all at once, or if they will have sections where they will be hosting by themselves or hosting with each other or hosting with a celebrity. But we will find out on September 17th. I think it's pretty fun, pretty cool. Each of these lucky athletes will get to travel to Redmond for 2 days training at Microsoft campus, where they will learn how to analyze esports games and provide commentary. Of the opportunity, Marino had this to say. Quote, I appreciate Special Olympics and Microsoft for providing me with the incredible leadership opportunity to become a shoutcaster at this year's Gaming for Inclusion event. Gaming creates a common bond and a fun way to connect with people of all abilities around the world. I've made new friends through gaming because we love it and anyone can play. Quote, the Rocket League tournament will be held on Saturday, September 10th, with celebrity showcasing following a week later on September 17th. Again, you can watch these wherever streamable, wherever Microsoft's official Xbox account, which I believe is the Twitter channel, and YouTube. So keep those marked because it could be fun. Then we're moving on to Thursday, where we were light on news, but we did get some pretty substantial information for those of you who are Teams users. Microsoft is lowering Teams rooms pricing, offering a free version with devices and a basic tier. Microsoft's Teams will be soon dropping the pricing for its services and will offer Teams Room Basic service. Microsoft had an announcement, I believe, about this, like I said, Thursday. They will begin offering this Microsoft Teams Pro from September 1st, 2022, which replaces the Microsoft Teams Room Standard and Microsoft Teams Room's premium offers. So they're kind of consolidating and ideally making it more straightforward, less tiers and confusing versions and names and whatnot. Microsoft will now offer Microsoft Teams Rooms Basic for small and medium business customers, and the service provides core meeting experiences to the customers when they purchase certified Microsoft Teams Rooms devices at no extra cost. So these are kind of cool ideas if you are a business and you are looking to get teams for, anywhere from 15 to 50 employees probably, and you buy headsets like the Microsoft Teams enabled headsets or webcams or conference speakers or monitors or phones, you will eventually get a Rooms Basic account for that. Now, I don't know, I think it's per device too. So the more devices you have, the longer you can start paying little to none for that service. Microsoft Teams Room Basic includes scheduling, joining meetings, content sharing, basic security, and management capabilities. So again, this is the ground floor, the basics that you need to communicate with teams, and you get this because you purchase a device instead of having to get Office, or subscription Office, or any of those kind of things. Again, it makes sense if you already have Office to do this, but if you are, maybe someone who is solidly in Google Docs, but you just don't like Meet, this is another workaround. The official announcement reveals that the latest pricing for Microsoft Teams Rooms will now charge $40 per month for Teams Rooms Pro, which delivers enhanced in-room meeting experiences, intelligent audio and video, multi-screen support, a full set of device management capabilities, and future differentiation value. So, anything else that updates that come in per month, those will all just be rolled into whatever you have. So you won't be paying extra for those. So again, $40 a month, and you get the Pro version of this. Microsoft will also be offering free trials for Teams Rooms as well. But this is only for education and government, and charity customers will get a 2-month trial. The rest of everyone else will get the 1-month trial. So if you are a teacher or you are working as a educational admin or whatnot, and you want to just try it out, see if it's something you can move to or move to from something else, they were offering some free trials. They're trying to get more people to use Teams. I presume because Teams installments have started to stagnate. We know we had a big surge during the pandemic. People have situated on the communication services that they are accustomed to. No one's testing things out. Maybe people are, moving, finding out that Teams is or isn't the service they need. Microsoft is finding a new way to get people into the fold. Microsoft customers can also acquire up to 25 basic licenses. The basic and the pro offerings will be announced to the public on September 6th, but they can also be sold and will be functional from September 1st. So if you have a connection or you have a Microsoft representative or partner that you can talk to, you can start getting things going about a week before everyone else does officially. Moving on to today, which is the last day of the week, we didn't have very much else in the news, but Game Pass titles from the Microsoft Store can now be downloaded from the Xbox without an Xbox app. So an update came in, I believe, for Dev, if I'm not mistaken, which was version number 25182, if you're keeping track. So go update your system if you haven't gotten it. But one of two things that came with this update was that people can now just go to the Microsoft Store and start downloading a game. You don't need to have the Xbox app reopen and then start off, which, for you guys, but for me, it always needs an update. It's like, oh, you're not on the latest thing. And I was like, well, I just closed it 5 minutes ago. Regardless, you can now just go and have the store work like you thought the store should work. You go, pick the game you want. It says purchase, download, click it, starts doing it straight from the store, which is amazing and a small nicety that I believe, kind of rounds out Windows 11 as an operating system, kind of differentiates it from Windows 10, which, as nice as it was still sort of overly complicated. Specifically saying the latest build comes with a notable improvement, again, which you can just install games direct from the store. Um, and I think that's it. That's what we got for Microsoft news for this week. I thank you guys for being with me here. I hope I didn't talk too fast. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I'm hoping I can keep this entertaining for you guys. Again, I am by myself trying to entertain those of you who like Microsoft. I wish you guys would kind of shout off in the comments down below in the chat if you guys want to about topics you would like me to cover or sections of information that you would like me to cover on a weekly basis. I know all of us are here because we like Microsoft, but it's a sprawling business with so many different interests. If you guys want to hear more about IT, let me know. I can maybe find some of our writers to give me some notes on that and bring in more IT content. If you guys want to know about more how to do's, we are filling up with how to do's. So I can bring some of that information into the podcast. For those of you who just want to hear more about gaming, I know we're kind of light on gaming. I can focus more on gaming as well. Again, with Windows kind of curtailing the way it's doing Windows updates, I figured Windows news would start to slow down probably after this update rolls out because, again, Microsoft is moving to a 3-year release cycle, and I believe these moments that they're doing, they haven't said if they're going to be quarterly or biannually or anything like that. So maybe we move on to Office information. I use Office. You guys should probably use Office. We can do some competitive stuff about how Office compares to Google Docs, things of that nature. Just let me know. Again, answer in the comments. If you guys have any questions about anything, you can always head over to Twitter, where you can find me at Mindhead1, or you can reach out to our official channel, which is on Microsoft.com on Twitter. You can also head to our website. I write a ton of articles. Drop down some comments in any of the articles I write, any of the articles that any of the other authors write, and say, hey, I would love to hear about this on the podcast. I believe that's it. We can also go to Pinterest, which I always tag at the end of each podcast. Where if you want more gaming information, but you don't want to hear my voice, there's that over there as well. And then there's Instagram. I'm trying to keep up on the podcast now that I am fully producing it and hosting it. It is my ball to drop, and I will try not to. Again, thank you for joining me. Go enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. Have fun.